Hi, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to talk about transcripts and an easy way to get transcripts written for your YouTube videos if you have not come up with a great way to do it on your own. The reason why I'm doing that is because I have a series that I haven't really touched in a long time, this one called Writer's Bookshelf, that you may have remembered if you were here long enough. It's one that I really intended to go indefinitely, but I sort of burned out there after the most recent episode, which I think was the one on mysteries back in episode 58. And I did have one lined up to continue the following couple weeks, but I was still burned out. I didn't really want to do anymore, and I just kind of let it go stagnant. And kind of lately, I've been thinking about bringing it back with a new format and just, ultimately making it more accessible. But to do that, I want to have transcripts ready, and I want to have social media posts and things that really just help it bring it back to life. But to do the manual work and going through and listening to all the text and putting on paper and doing all that, it's a lot of work that I don't, again, have time for or commitment to. And so any tool that can help me, kind of make that easy and then pretty accurate is the tool worth having. And that's what I want to talk about today is transcription tools and ways in which we can get our YouTube videos into a written format. It makes it easier and more accessible for all viewers, not just the ones who want to watch the video. And what's important to note here is I don't write scripts ahead of time. I don't read from scripts. When I do my videos, everything is ad-libbed. I hit go and I see what comes out of my mouth, and then I hit stop and I post, after some editing. That's typically the way I do things. That's the way I'm doing it now. Now I do sometimes have plenty of false starts. Once I get my momentum, see how I can't even say words anymore. When I get my momentum up and running, then typically, see, once again, sometimes the words just flub. Then I get going, and then from there on, it's just a matter of seeing what happens and doing my best with that. But again, there's no written transcript, and so if I ever want to do a transcript of a video, it's just not there, or I have to rip it off from YouTube and hope that YouTube's algorithms got it correct, and they don't always do that, not without a lot of editing. So what we're going to look at today is a tool that simplifies that process and has a pretty good accuracy for words, and not perfect, but better than what YouTube does. So if you want to head over to my desktop real quick, I'm going to show you this tool. And again, I want to emphasize that the tools they show you doesn't have to be this tool. It can be something similar. It might be something more sustainable, something that's more akin to your needs. But I want to show you the workflow that I'm going to be using when I revive this series, and also what I've been doing to sort of make the back episodes more accessible to all viewers, including you, if you need the extra help. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're talking about, and you form your judgments as we continue on. All right, so the app I'm using is called Whisper Transcribe, and you can sort of see it up here in the little logo. A tool I got off of AppSumo a few months ago, actually, I think it's longer than that now. It's been a while. They're not on AppSumo anymore, which is why I wanted to make it clear that you don't necessarily have to use the tool I'm using. You can use something that's similar. You can find one that's affordable. I like to get the ones where I can buy once and use forever, however long I want. So this is one of those tools I can use whatever I want, but I do have monthly limits. Like you can see here, I've got, as of this recording, I've got 750 minutes total per month, and then I've already used up 50 for the month, which you'll find that unless you have like a backlog that you're catching up on, you're not likely to run out. I know I certainly am not when I come to new videos, but it saves a list of all the videos I've done, and you can see I've already transcribed one for Les Edgerton. And the way it works is you can choose one of these 4 sections to work with, and then once you've either uploaded the file or grabbed it from one of the other sources, you'll select it, and then it'll go through the process of transcribing. And I'm going to actually demonstrate that here in a moment. But the goal here is once you've got everything done, it's going to open up the transcription format, and you can see, like with one for Hook, I've got over in the transcript section a complete transcript of the text that I used for that video. And you have 2 versions. You can do a transcript or you can do a full text. And the full text is what you might see on a website where it grabs all your words and it just puts it in essay form, which is really handy if you want to have a nice follow-along display for those who aren't interested in timestamps. Then if I go to the Content Hub, you'll see I have other things that go with it, including the summary, which I can use either on the YouTube channel, or if I want to have a page full of my writer's bookshelf episodes, I can give the summaries right there on the page. And then there's other things here. Quotes and chapters I have to add manually. But if I go into title, it gives me suggestions for titles. It gives me my show notes, which I find actually really useful if you're doing a podcast. And the show notes are pretty well formed. I like the formatting and all of that. So it makes it really simple to see what you got in there. But you also have a section for newsletters. By the time you get into the newsletter section, I find you have to do some of the editing. Not everything is going to be exactly as you intend it. For example, I don't know why I would call this issue number 4. It's actually the 7th video in the series, and the 8th if you include the introduction episode. But again, some slight tweaks and edits, and you can be fully on your way. Blog post, again, if you don't want to have to, try to figure out what to say about your video, you can just let the AI figure it out for you. And it is an AI system. I know, again, some people love it, some people hate it. But when it comes to tasks like this, I don't know of anyone who wants to spend 12 hours in their life trying to come up with just recyclable content for something they really only intend to do once. And again, if I'm doing a video off the cuff where there's no script to begin with, I don't want to necessarily have to create one after the fact. I would like the systems that I have in place to already be such where all the materials I would ever need are already created as a result of my video, rather than having to come up with new things to say about it. So that's a lot of mental energy and a lot of time that really could be going to other things. But you also have your social media. Right now, it's just LinkedIn and Twitter. There is something for Instagram, but I turned that off, so I don't use Instagram, but it is in there. And then you have your created ones. So like if you want to add a prompt, you can do that. I did that for chapter timestamps. I'll confess that the timestamps on this particular model are not that good. So I go into my, I have a social, or one of these chat hubs where you can import any of the different models that are out there and use that instead. And I'll show you that too later in the video. But you may need to do use some external programs in order to get all the nuances. So again, I got access to a few of those. But for what you can do with just one simple system, you can actually do quite a bit. So I find it impressive that you actually have this many options in one platform. But like most things, one platform is great, but multiple platforms that do different things often means overlap that you can be more versatile with your output. So I'll show you guys that too when we go to the next video. So I want to demonstrate how I do this with episode number 8, Lisa Cron's Story Genius, and then I'll show you the process of how I just kind of keep track of it all. But the moral of the story is, if you do need something that will keep you on track and keep you from having to exert brain power you don't necessarily have the room for, if you're in a rush and you need to get things done, and if you're doing marketing copy that ultimately it's just designed to get viewers, not necessarily be your content. This is something that I think will work well. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the process. Now, one important note to recognize about apps like Whisper Transcribe is they work best when you have some kind of link to your video. Now, right now, we're going to grab the one off of Lisa Cron's Story Genius, so I'll grab the shareable link. But one thing I've noticed is that Whisper Transcribe does not necessarily, while it used to grab YouTube video links pretty well, lately it hasn't been doing so, and so I have been having to upload video, like raw video, into the system in order for it to analyze it directly. And the problem with that is it can only accept files of a certain size, and then it becomes too large. So sometimes with apps like this, you're going to have to be a little creative in how to get your video into the system without breaking something. So where I used to be able to just take the video directly, now I do have to grab a low res, small filed version of it. So the way I've been doing that is I've been putting it into this app called VidJuice, YouTube, which is right here. It's a little app. And all you got to do is paste the URL right in. And it's going to grab the video from my YouTube channel, and you'll see it knows exactly which one it is. It's only going to import it at 42 megabytes, which is nice. But in order for me to do that, I had to first use the settings to grab low quality. Because normally if you go best, it's going to grab the highest quality. So, if you go into lowest res, it's going to grab the lowest amount. And then it'll be an easy thing to port in. And then once it's there, you'll just grab it right off the folder it saves in, and you'll drop it right in Whisper Transcribe. All right, so now that we're back in the Whisper Transcribe, I'm going to go ahead and do a new transcription. Okay, and again, I could just grab it from the web. You're going to find that if I do that, and if I paste the link directly in, it's going to find the information pretty quickly and easily. But when I hit transcribe now, it's going to probably have an error because that's been giving me errors lately, but we'll see. So far, it looks like it's trying to actually, oh, it actually grabbed it. All right, I guess sometimes it will work. It worked this time. All right, so I was going to show you what to do with an uploaded video or file. I don't need to do that now because it actually grabbed it from YouTube. So I would always recommend try to get it from YouTube first before you try to do something through the files. But if YouTube doesn't work, then you would, again, upload to the file, which is what I had to do for these last two. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and you can see right now it's transcribing pretty quickly. Once it grabs it, I mean, look how fast it's going. I don't think it matters so much what type of video card I'm using, but it might. But you'll see it found the context, and now it's got my my text. And if you want to hit play, I shouldn't have a YouTube strike against my own video, but we're going to fast forward to, you'll see as I roll through the links here, it'll show exactly where we are. So if I hit play, actually, I don't, you probably won't be able to hear that because I've turned off my system audio. So I probably can't demonstrate that. You'll have to just see for yourself. But it does, play back your audio when you, wherever you are in the transcript. And so once again, we'll just take a look at the full text. And you'll see that, it's grabbing all the stuff that I said in the video, and it's doing its best to be able to transcribe everything exactly as I said it, even though it spelled her name wrong. This is why it's important that you will need to, proofread it before you commit to any blogs or anything like that. But it does capture all the wording, and I think that's pretty cool. It does that. And again, if you want to go into the title, it'll try to, give you some tips on things you can do to promote your work. And it's all, I just think, really, really helpful. But I wanted to show you guys too the chapter titles, because again, one thing that Whisper Transcribe does not do well, at least on this particular model, is is grabbing the chapter titles. And I think it might be because of the model I'm using. If I were to use if I go into my settings, you'll see that I have the option to use GPT-4o on my particular account. But that means I have to have a direct port into a GPT account, which I don't have. Actually, I have all my chat through a mediator. So I would not be able to do that through this. So that's why I have to do mine externally. And again, it proves the point that there's some things you can do natively and then in a single app, some things you can do better by going through a kit bash or doing, multiple apps for kind of achieving similar overlapping tasks. And really your goal is to have the best result, not necessarily the unified result. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the transcript, which I can do that just by copying up here. And I'm going to put it into my Word document. So it'll be this one here. And I'm going to, first of all, save as the episode 8 transcript. So you see that I keep the same template for everything. And I'll save it. And then I'm just going to change the name here. This is Story Genius. Piece of prawn. And then I'm going to just copy and paste the new transcript over the old. Glad I'm doing some of the shorter videos. I'm not one of my 30-minute ones. Okay, and again, I'm purposely grabbing the transcript and not the paragraph form. You'll see why in a minute if I'm going to go and save it. Okay, and now we'll go back to, now I'm going to actually upload this new transcript into my content hub. All right, so now we're over into I'm calling my chat hub. It's got it's a platform called Straco, and it gives you access to all the different models from GPT to Gemini to all the things. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the latest OpenAI 4o model to get our time stamp here. So I do have this set up on we'll call it a GPT. It's a pre-rendered prompt. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new chat. And then I'm going to go into my file uploader, and I'm going to upload from my transcript. So we just made number 8. So we're going to upload number 8, and we're going to insert it. So now it's got the system up here, but you'll see that it's set up for GPT-3.5 Turbo, which is a really old model. I don't want to use that. We're going to do is I actually have this set up to grab, if I go in my chapter list, I've already had this set up. It's set up for the old 4.0. I'm probably going to need to reset that. So instead of using 4.0, I'm going to change the template here to, let's see, we're going to use the new 4.0, which is the one from August 6th. Okay. And then we'll go next. All right. And then I'm going to keep my same prompt, which is, you can see here, it's using the attached timestamp transcript, blah, blah, blah. I'll probably put this in my YouTube show notes if you want to do something similar. So check the description below if you want to use this particular prompt. But you see all the rest is just sort of there. We'll go next. I don't really need to do anything fancy with this. I'll save it. So now it's got the new model on here. So once I go into my templates and use my chapter list, you'll see right here, it says new. So we're going to just go ahead and run it. It's going to give you a warning that it's not done. It is done. I'm just going to continue. It's expecting me to have some kind of prompt. And so it's going to give me the certainly, all very enthusiastic, and it's going to give me my show notes, and it will coincide with the correct minute count. So what we're going to do is grab the markdown list, go into my go into my chapter list. I know the video might be cut off here a little bit. It's just going from app to app. I don't always have consistency, but it's okay. I think for here, you'll get the idea. You don't necessarily actually, you're going to, normally I would just copy and paste this, but since I've already grabbed the show notes, I'm going to just type this part out. I'll paste it in, and obviously I don't need the certainly. I just need the timestamps. So I'll have it, and then obviously all I have to do now is just grab this and post it into my description. If I do that, I can go back to my YouTube channel. I go into my video that I want to work with and just go into the editing section here. I can just post the show notes right in here. So we'll, I guess what we'll do is we'll put it right here for timestamps, and we'll save it. And then we'll view. All right, and we'll go ahead and check on, yep, there they are. There's the timestamps. And if we click on any random one here, let's just see. There's one in particular I still think about now called the ticking clock. There it talks about how you can employ a ticking clock. Yeah, I'm going through the details. Pretty good. Now I don't see it necessarily broken up by chapter here, so that might be something I have to do something differently with. I'm not sure. But the point being is that I can now have show notes for my video that I didn't have before. And it's really effective. Now I don't know that it's going to stay here. I'm going to go through and actually think through the way it should be once I go through all my books. But overall, I don't know. I think it's a really useful way to get your message across quickly, and to give your viewers all the things that they need in order to really stay on top of the text. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool system to use transcription software in order to give you all the quick tools you need in order to make everything effective and accessible. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. It's just I don't know if it's a quick video anymore. I've got a lot of pieces to it, but it's one that I think is really useful to have. So I do encourage you guys to take a look at something like Whisper Transcribe if you're interested in it. Or if you're not necessarily interested in that particular app, find something that works the same. And that kind of brings me to something I've been doing for my newsletter, which is called the App of the Month, or Useful App of the Month. And if you're not a member of my newsletter, I am going to do a video on that one of these days where I'll take you on the inside. But one of the things I do for my monthly newsletter is I'll have a section on the Useful App of the Month, and I think I have something else set for August. I'm not sure. I have to look at my notes. If I don't, I may use this one to help others or help my viewers have something useful to work with. But if you wanted to see what apps I promote monthly, like that's a great way to find out, is to sign up for my monthly newsletter. And you'll have to get through some writing news and all of that first. But at the bottom is where I put all my useful tools. And it's not always apps, but lately it's been apps. So if you like this kind of content and you want to get something monthly, that's a good way to do it, is to sign up to my my newsletter, which you can find in my notes below. It's down here. You can use the SendFox link, or you can go to my website and actually go to the newsletter link there. But yeah, it's something for you guys to consider if you're interested. Every new video is going to have a slightly different signature, but you get there the same way. You can get there through my my links down at the bottom if you want to stay up to date with that kind of thing. So that's about it for today. Again, if you want to sign up for my newsletter, the easiest way is to just, again, go to my website and just go right here to the sign up list and just put your first name, your email, or put a fake name. I don't care. Just remember that I'm going to always call you by that fake name if you do put something fake. But just make sure you check the box, click on the button, and then if you need more information, you can click on the About newsletter, and it'll give you more of an overview. But I'm going to do a video on it one of these days, so you can also just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then at some point I'll release that video and you can find out more about it there. Or you can just come back to the website every once in a while and just keep checking on the About. Or, you can just sign up for the newsletter and see for yourself. That's always a possibility too. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you liked this video. Hope you like Whisper Transcribe or something like it. If you are a YouTuber or a podcaster or just somebody who wants to hear, see your speech and writing, it's a good thing to have. But continue to check back here for new future tool videos and other videos that are related to writing or content creation or just whatever I'm thinking about. It's all a wild card. So anyway, I hope this has been good for you. And we'll see you around for whatever the next one may be. So until then, have a great day, great summer, great August. I don't know, great winter if you're watching this 4 months from now. Just have a great something. And we'll see you for the next one. Thanks. Bye.